nowhere. There wasn't like a homeless shed. I didn't know where the fuck to go. I probably had $10 in my pocket. And then the younger brother ran up there and he goes, "Dog, they're waiting for you to come to eat the dinner. Come over there." I had never met the parents. How lucky am I, Joe Rogan? I had never met the parents.
That's pretty lucky.
And I walked in and they had like 6 kids. And it wasn't like what I was used to living. They had no air conditioning. The parents were blue collar. And they took me in. They made me a part of their home. Never asked me for rent. Wasn't the fucking best house in the block. But till this day, I'm tight with all the 4 brothers and sisters. It's like we're all one big family. But think how fucking lucky. Like, I'm not even talking about being thankful for the comedy bridge. Just the personal bridge that I went over. Like, I was a killer and at that point, I had lost all faith in humanity. Like, I was done. Like, I wasn't a Catholic no more. I was just waiting to kill somebody. That's it. That's all I was waiting on. It's such a weird... Like, I'm not even worried about the comedy bridge no more. It was the personal bridge where I grew the most, you know? I don't even know how we got in this conversation. This weed is killing me.
It's good weed. They're going to kill the good weed now, right? Is that what's happening? How does this work? How does the new law work?
No. I still got some guys.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. I mean, legally. But legally.
It'll still be available for medicinal people who have cards.
So we got to get a card.
Yeah, recreational, it's going to be
Got to renew that card, son.
I got it.
I got to renew that card. I don't want any of your bullshit weed. I don't want any of your fucking watered down weed. What are they going to do? They got to water it down? How much?
18%, something like that. But never fear.
But here's the thing. Isn't that strong
Uncle
enough?
Joey's here. Look.
Assholes.
Never fear.
Look at this.
We got a DA one, too.
Oh, wow.
What do you think you're dealing with here? Joey Bananas? We got state, federal. We got them coming from all over. You know what I'm saying?
Damn. DEA.
Fuck yeah, just in case. You know
Just in case.
Just in case we don't end up
Just
like
let 'em
fucking
know.
Tom Cruise in American Made.
I was looking up the medicinal rules in Ohio recently. You can't grow your own there if you have a card.
Yeah, they're sneaky with that shit,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Hopefully people eventually vote that out, but you had to get it in there first. That's the only way it would have passed. They have everything wired up. But it's a victory because it's going to be very difficult to make it illegal now that it's legal. It's going to be very difficult to go backwards. So then you have to figure out, like, why do these companies have a monopoly on making it? If it's legal, why can't you make it yourself? Aren't tomatoes legal? I can grow tomatoes, can't I? You could even probably grow, like, do you need a tax stamp or something to grow tobacco? How does that work?
Maybe to sell it. I don't know if I can grow it. I'll check.
Like, if you wanted to grow your own tobacco, would you be able to do that? Like, if you said, I want to make my own fucking pipes and, fill them with my own tobacco. I want to make my own cigars. Could you do that? Is that possible? For personal use? That's crazy. So if you could do that federally, and then they're saying you can't, in Ohio, you can't grow your own weed? That's so stupid. That's so dumb. Like, how do they let that?
Would you grow your own weed? Do you even know what you're doing?
No,
or
I
you're
wouldn't.
like me. I don't know
No,
dick
I
about
don't.
nothing.
I don't know dick about it. I wouldn't do it. But you should be able to. If it's legal, of course you should be able to grow it. It's a fucking plan. No,
So
nobody should
where
have a
can you not
monopoly.
grow it? Where can you not grow it? In Ohio, if you have a card.
Here's the worry. The worry is that you wouldn't charge taxes. You would keep the money. You wouldn't be accurate. You just do it with cash. You do cash transactions. That's the worry. But that would be a tax worry more than, right? Is that what it is? Is that what they're saying?
For tobacco too, yeah. You can grow as much as you want. You just can't sell it.
Oh, okay. But they're not even allowed to grow their own for personal use when it comes to marijuana.
Right.
So it's more restrictive than tobacco, which is hilarious. Silly fucks. That's so dumb. Does that make any sense to you? Why?
Listen,
We have some wacky laws that we let sneak through. Like, why would you let other people decide that different people in this group can't grow a plant that's legal now? Get the fuck out of here. That's dumb. That's a dumb rule.
they can't.
Somebody
No
got paid.
edibles over 100. No weed that's loose anymore. So if I come into your store and I go, "What do you got?" You can't open up the container and show me the bud and let me smell it. They all have to be sealed and stuff. There's just a lot of silly rules. I don't know which ones they don't. I'm very happy I found this bag of expired fucking Chiba Chews from 2015 from the
And they're
Dave
still
Chappelle.
good.
Listen, you know me, I make it work.
Are they diminished in any way?
No. A couple of them have a little bit of mold on them. You just take the mold off. I put a little brown nail polish on it, and nobody knows nothing. You just eat it like nothing. Who gives a fuck? A little mold never killed nobody.
Molds help people.
Molds
Penicillin,
help
right?
people, yeah. Who gives a
Penicillin came
fuck?
from some mold, didn't it? Something like that?
It's so crazy how you see it with your kids. You see it with your kids. I took my kid to science camp. And when I came from Cuba, I had a lot of problems medically here when I came to this country. And one of them was the allergies. The allergies were completely different than what I was used to in a different country. They're fucking mind-boggling. So my allergy, if you ever hear me make that noise, you ever hear me do that? That's because I can't scratch the back of my throat like normal people. You know how normal people do that noise?
So you all sealed up there.
Yeah. The first week of camp, I saw my daughter do shit, and I felt so bad for her. She would try to scratch her nose, and I would see her get frustrated, Joe Rogan, just scratching and scratching and scratching, and now it's gone. 3 weeks into summer camp, she don't scratch no more.
How come?
Because you build up your fucking
Your
immune
immunity?
system.
Oh.
It's so weird how you see it in front of you now. You see it. I see it. I saw it in front of me. Like, I went right to my wife and I go, let me tell you something. You better take her to the fucking doctor and get her fucking tonsils out, because that's the shit that started with me at that age. When I came from Cuba, right away, I was in the hospital on a weekly level, dog. Weekly. Between the tonsils and the fucking allergies and the asthma. And the asthma. But my mother didn't pay attention to the asthma. That's why I don't have it today. Like, I might have bits and pieces of it, but I don't have it. Mercy's got it. My daughter's got it. They got to do the fucking inhaler and the whole thing.
Asthma's fucking rough.
It's rough.
That's rough. I've seen people have asthma attacks, and you can hear the wheezing, and
You have no
Jesus.
fucking idea. So I have to work it from a different angle.
What can they do? Like, if someone doesn't have an inhaler and they have an asthma attack, is there a strategy or a technique?
My mother died at a fucking party.
Oh no!
Yeah, so you have to be
From an
very
asthma
careful.
attack?
Yeah. Oh. Like us having a party right now.
Oh.
Eating, having a great time. I got an asthma attack.
And the inhaler opens up your lungs,
Joe
lets them
Rogan, I
breathe.
wish
Is that
I
how it
knew.
works?
My wife has the machine.
What's the
We
machine?
have a machine that blows some powder in her with a thing, and then there's a regular machine that my wife has, and then she has the inhaler. You know, my wife and her and the doctor have been working on different things. She's healthy. I mean, the kid's healthy as fuck. She runs, she swims, jiu-jitsu, this, that, ballet, you know. It's 4 days a week. We don't stop at that fucking house. You know, you see it. You just don't stop. You know, people, I love these people that think, oh, let's meet at 3:30. You tell your mother to meet at 3:30. 3:30 is when my day really starts. You know what I'm saying? I'm writing jokes at 8, not because I want to, because that's what I got.
Yeah.
That's what I got. That's what I got. Because then I got this, that. And at 3 o'clock from Monday to fucking Friday, there's a different activity. Sometimes you do 3 at a time, bro. We go right from jiu-jitsu right to the pool when she jumps in. You think we could do an hour jiu-jitsu and then go to a pool and swim for 45 minutes? Fuck you, Jack.
Yeah.
You gotta see it. It's unbelievable. People are like, nah, let's meet. Fuck you. I got ballet. I got 1,000 fucking activities during the week.
Kids are little energy machines.
And if you don't burn that energy, then you deal with it
Yeah,
from 7 to 9
exactly.
when you're fucking trying to do your own shit and trying to get it together.
They're just
It
constantly
don't
ready
stop.
to go.
They're ready to go. A couple weeks ago, she took it to the fucking zoo. 6-hour walk around LA Zoo. I get home at 4. She's like, what's the story? We're going to the park? I looked at my wife like, park? Took it to the park. 2 hours on the monkey bars. And then another hour at the fucking yogurt place, jumping up and down to music and Michael Jackson and fucking drawing fucking pictures. Really is crazy being a fucking dad, especially because they don't know I kidnapped somebody. Like she has no idea. She has no idea I'm a savage. So she thinks I'm on the up and up. Like when we go to church and shit, she's like, "Daddy, look at Jesus." Yeah.
Well, nothing turns people more on the up and up than being a father.
It really does.
Yeah, it changes who you are. You're responsible for these people now, and you have to think of things differently. You have to make sure that you provide. You have to make sure that they're taken care of. You got to give them love. It's like, whoo, it's an intense world, and you feel more vulnerable, and it's just the world around you opens up, and you also have more empathy. I have way more empathy for people now because I'm becoming, as you're raising children, you're seeing how they develop, and then you're considering how other people have been mistreated and how things have gone terribly wrong. They've been abused and beaten and fucked up and left in terrible situations. And you realize that so much of what happens with people with even terrible behavior comes from other terrible behavior. Like, they didn't get a chance to stop the cycle. And there are a lot of people that we consider like really bad people, violent people, people that do terrible things. We don't even realize that so many of them are a product of violence. Like, they're a product of someone doing it to them. Like, they're trying to get back at the world for all the horrible shit that's been done to them. And there was no one there to put a stop to it. There was no one there to save them. There was no one there to protect them. And this is what we're seeing when we see fucked up people. We always just think of it as fucked up people. But that fucked up person is the product of some terrible things that have happened to them almost universally. Almost every angry, fucked up person has come from a place where something has gone really wrong against them. You're not angry and fucked up if everything's awesome. If every day you're just getting ice cream, getting your dick sucked, and driving a Ferrari and watching awesome movies, like it's you. There's an anger that some people have, violent criminals in particular, that comes from someone doing that to them.
I had that anger, Joe.
I know you did.
I had that anger from 1979.
You had that shit when I met you.
I had that anger, but no, the anger
You had that
grew.
when I met you. I've seen it. I've seen it with people.
Well, let me explain
where
something to you.
Wanted to attack people.
The anger was very. All right, first of all,
Under control.
I was always a happy kid, but not really, because I was always confused about the death of my father. So that always had a little certain unhappiness.
Yeah.
But I always had the Catholic faith. I was really raised Catholic, and I always believed he was in heaven, and he was in that box when my mom did the things. So that eased the pain a little bit. Then my mother's death was just fucking horrifying. And that broke the central nervous system belief system. That broke your belief in the world. How can there be a God that takes a mother away from a child? When you're 16 and you wrap that around your head, there's not a good result. It's not going to be a good result. So how I lashed out was by robbing you. That was the only weapon I had in the world, was to rob you. Joe Rogan fucked with me, the studio would get robbed and lit on fucking fire. And Joe knew it was me, and what the fuck was he gonna do? I'm with Carmine. What the fuck you gonna do? You call the cops? It's Carmine who's gonna answer the phone. Next time, don't fuck with me. You'll know next time not to fuck with me. When I tell you to give me that gram of coke, and I'll pay you on Friday, you'll fucking give it to me, all right? Because that's what it was. It was simple shit like that.
Right.
Like, Joe, give me $100. I'm
Right.
broke. Joey, I don't have $100. Okay. Now I robbed your fucking house. You should have given him $100. You know, I was lashing out at the fucking world.
Right.
Number two, the other issue I had is I lost a child. I was not ready for that child at all. I loved that little girl with all my heart, but I was not ready for her at all. My intentions were good, but the result was not going to be well. I was not ready. And because I lost that child, and I'm in no contact with that child, it makes me the better father that I am today. This is never going to happen to me again. Do you understand me?
Yeah.
We see daughters of comics. We've seen daughters of comics and sons of comics, and they're fucking lost. You know, I don't want my daughter to be fucking lost in that stupidity and in that world, you know. You have to be there, Joe. We have to be there.
Yeah.
You know.
You have to be there.
I'm trying to be there as much as I can.
You have to be
comic.
engaged, you know.
You have to be engaged. Were your parents engaged as much as you're engaged? Not mine. But I didn't want them around.
It was a different world.
Yes.
It was a different world. But my parents were very open-minded. What my parents gave to me that was really important was they're like the most non-judgmental, non-racist, non-homophobic people ever. They don't judge about anything. They were hippies. You know, when my mom met my stepdad, he had crazy long hair, and he had it like all till I was like almost in high school is when he cut it. I was so happy when he cut it. I was like, God. People were like, back then, dudes grew their hair long. They were hippies, like legit hippies. But because of that, I was raised around like no racism, no homophobic. We had no homophobic thoughts in our house. That never came up. We lived in San Francisco from the time I was 7 till I was 11. We lived all in a serious gate. The one thing that did disturb me, though, once, I was walking with my stepdad, and some dude whistled at him. Some dude was like, whew, whew. I knew that dudes were gay, but there's a thing about when a dude is hitting on your straight stepdad, and you're like, oh my goodness, this is ridiculous. Like, guys are gross. It makes you realize, it doesn't even really make you realize what it would like to be a chick in that same exact experience.
See, I grew up completely different. Not in my home. Not in my home, but the surroundings. You know, when I would walk down the corner, Mr. Otina would go, Spickaroo, where you going tonight?
Spickaroo?
You know.
Jesus
you
Christ.
Know, there was a kid that I still talk to him on Facebook. His name was Luis Hernandez. He's Dominican. Joe, he's Dominican. He's Dominican. They didn't give a fuck. They called him Louis the Nigger. Constantly, Louis the Nigger. The guys, he's Dominican. Do you think they gave a fuck? They didn't give a fuck. They didn't give a fuck.
So funny.
You know, they didn't give a fuck.
People were just different then. It's a different world we're talking about, right?
I remember there was a kid that is today gay. I still talk to him. He's my brother. As a matter of fact, he's one of my brothers. I got to be honest with you. He lives in Miami. He's got HIV. I mean, listen, you didn't know he was gay when he was 12. There's something wrong with you. But Mr. Otino used to call him, he was lighting the slippers. You know, look at Jimmy. He's lighting the slippers. You know, and you had to sit there and take it. It was, whatever.
It should be okay for little Jimmy lighting the slippers. Everybody should just let him be.
I let him be. He was my best
too.
friend. He had a dog named Tramp. That was
Wouldn't
the
it be
dirtiest
nice?
dog ever. Like, he lived outside. Tramp skin, like when you pet the fucking thing, was the hardest. It was like with those brushes you scrub, like a metal brush. Mm-hmm. Like, he lived outside, Tramp. But he followed him everywhere. He was beautiful. I love Tramp.
Dogs.
No, you're very lucky because
They're the best.
You know,
They're the best pets.
I grew up in an environment. I'm standing with you and my man here. We're on the corner. We see a transgender person crossing the street. You're like, look at the shape of this fucking guy. As simple as that is, that's a judgment. That's a judgment. But it was more of a sense of humor. You know, before we were looking at a picture of Archie Bunker, America understood it because they knew where he was coming from. He wasn't saying nothing malicious. It was a world where he came from.
Right. And the idea was that he was reluctantly open to occasionally take in new information and learn
What's going
from
on
a
in
show.
America today? Every guy's sitting at home, fucking looking out a window, peeking, waiting to get me too'd. There's 1,000 men at home waiting right now to get me fucking too'd. Every day a new guy gets fucking called out for something like that. What's this gonna be like in 5 years? Nobody's gonna be able to even ask for a fucking piece. Right or wrong? Nobody's gonna go, hey, let me give you a little stab. Let me give you a little bakaloosh.
I think there's going to come a time, and I don't think it's going to be very long, within 10 years, where we're going to be able to read each other's minds. I think we're going to be able to communicate in a different way. And I think it's just going to be step one into some sort of a technological world where we all read each other's minds. We can connect together in some almost like telepathic web way, the way you use this is obviously just an idea. But I think that if technology continues to give us closer and closer access to people, we're going to lose all boundaries between what a person is. And you're going to know everything about everyone's past, and everyone's going to know everything about yours. And it's going to be like some unlimited library of the mind. You can travel through anyone's mind and read anyone's thoughts. And as 100 years goes by and the technology gets better and 1,000 years go by, we're going to integrate. We're going to figure out a way, whether it's in our grandchildren's lifetimes or their grandchildren's lifetimes. And I think that cultural shifts and things that are happening in the news and people waking up to things that they think are horrible and people trying to correct the misdeeds of the past, all of that is us waking up in the middle of our culture and trying to figure out what's right, figure out what's the healthy way to move forward, balance this thing out. Slow down. What are we doing? We're waking up as grown adults trying to figure out our system. And there's some injustices. Those injustices have to be corrected or at least recognized. We have to understand what's the difference between normal male-female interaction and what's sexual harassment. When is it when someone doesn't want you to do it? When does it become a crime? When you don't want your daughter to ever experience that, and I don't want anybody that's a woman to experience real sexual harassment. It's the worst fucking thing that could probably ever happen to you because you can't do anything physically about it. Other than rape or being beaten up or murdered, it's a creepy place to be in. I've had guys hit on me before. You ever had a guy hit on you before where you like, hey, where is this going?
I was like 13. I grabbed my dick. I didn't know what to do. I ran out of the car, but it was my fault for getting in the fucking car. I also acknowledged it, and it never fucking happened again. And I would go to gay theaters when I was a kid. Like, we thought it was a joke to go to a fucking porn theater on a Sunday. You ever go to a porno on a Sunday, like with 6 of your stupid friends and go to the bathroom? And there's always a guy that gets next to you in the store when you go pee, and he looks at your dick and he smiles. Come on, guys.
Yeah.
I bumped into a lot of creep. You've been out here. First of all, I tell you what bothers me about the current situation, how it went off. That this fucking place here has always been a fucking haven for sexual harassment. This fucking neighborhood down the corner here, Hollywood, is where sexual harassment got invented.
Did you ever see all the stuff about Fatty Arbuckle?
I heard pieces about Fatty Arbuckle, but I don't need to know about Fatty. I know about a chick named Marilyn Monroe that they passed around till they killed her. I know about a guy named Liberace who used to suck your dick and fucking clean you out and then send you out into the fucking cold.
And worse, he would make you get plastic surgery so you look like him.
Like you look like him. Look,
that is one of the most intense things a person's ever made a person do.
And let me tell you something. And let me tell you something else, too. That's why we're fucking the elephants in the room. The fucking where we hang out was known for a comedy fucking hell of den of sucking dick too for a lot of years at the Comedy Store. A lot of dick sucking went down at the fucking Comedy Store. I don't know how long Harvey Weinstein's been around, but there's a song by the Eagles in 1980 that was released on the fucking Long Run, their last album, and it's called The King of Hollywood. On the way home, put it on, listen to it in the car. You're gonna crash your car. Called The King of fucking Hollywood, and you're gonna go, who the fuck were they talking about? I mean, it just breaks it down. It would be a shame to see all that talent go to waste. You know, what are you willing to sacrifice? Wouldn't it really be just nice? Whoa. Oh, you got, look at this shit.
Wow.
Come sit down here beside me, honey. Let's have a little heart-to-heart. That's the fucking lyrics to this song.
Whoa.
King of Hollywood, 1980. Nobody knew.
Now look at me and tell me, darling, how badly do you want this part? Yeah, listen, you put men in positions of power and hiring women like that in that crazy position of when you're trying to cast something and you got 100 people that want it so bad and you're some creepy dude.
Some people actually think that this would change their life. If I came to you right now and said, Joe Rogan, you're fucking delivering papers in Boston. You're going to have 2 shows. You're going to have a podcast. This all you got to do is lick my fucking balls.
Oh, my
one
goodness.
time. Just swallow
One
them
time.
deep. But I want you to do, I want you to do that thing at the end.
Like dice?
Yeah, like dice. Do a little,
Oh!
Would you do it?
How much?
Think.
How much do I get and how long do I have to suck them for? It's going to be over pretty quick.
This is a fucking career changer. If I
Clark Gable may just do that, right?
That's who they're talking about.
Oh, the King of Hollywood. Was Clark Gable was he a gay man?
It was based off of a book. Apparently, all this stuff that was in there.
But was he alleged to be a gay man? Was this?
No, this isn't about straight. But there was also a book released in Hollywood in 1997 or 8 called "You'll Never Work in This Town Again."
Oh, so those lyrics were about Clark Gable.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was something else.
Yeah. But then there was a book released in 1997 or 8 in this Hollywood called "You'll Never Work in This Town Again," and it was about a chick who described all her sexual relationships with a bunch of people in town. And she described fucking Don Henley, the drummer from the Eagles, the guy that sings. And he would get hookers to come up to the house, wouldn't even talk to them.
Whoa.
Line them up, turn around, don't even look at me. Don't even make fucking eye contact with me. Do you understand me? Bend over, So he would sit on the couch with a robe on, with his dick out, snorting coke, and they would all be in front of a fireplace, bent over.
Where'd you hear this?
This is in his book.
Wow.
You'll never work in this town again.
Jesus Christ.
And he would fucking, you never eat lunch in this town again.
Oh, you never eat lunch.
And he would take the thing, do a line of coke, get up, and walk up to one of them, spread them, put them in their ass, and look at their pussy, pump it twice, and then I'll be back in 5 minutes. And then he would go sit down, put his feet up, do another line, and he would do that for 8 hours. Just get up, fuck one for 5 minutes, and sit back down before he'd come. So he would never crack a nut, and he would just keep snorting to keep a heart on alive. Fucking so who the fuck knows? Listen, you know, it's like they all threw the Harvey under the bus, but these animals have been doing this since Jesus left Chicago. Since Jesus left Chicago. Listen, when I read that article about the Cuban Superman that Brando was sleeping with, what they blatantly talked about in that article was exactly what we're seeing today, only behind closed doors. That Cuba had become a haven for sex, where you could go see a fucking goat get fucked. I mean, didn't they pass a rule this week in Mexico that a girl could get fucked if she's 12 years old? Mm-hmm. You really need that rule? Really? That's the rule you need in this
Is that
society.
really what just got passed?
Something that you could be the age 12 years old is the act of.
And this is in Mexico?
In Mexico,
Are you
is
sure?
the age of
Let's see if
something.
you
Can
can
you look
find
that up, Jamie?
12 years.
12 fucking years old. What
Age
do you
of
tell-
consent
Why
in
is a
Mexico?
woman 12 years old?
That's insane.
That's insane.
Scary. It is real? Oh, Jesus.
Can you fucking believe that?
Oh, my God. Look at this. The federal law establishes the age of 12 as the minimum age of consent, while the age at which there are no restrictions for consensual sexual activities is 18. Sex with someone 12 to 18 is not illegal per se, but can still be open to prosecution under certain circumstances.
You believe this shit?
What does that mean? So it's age 12 is the age of minimum age of consent, but the age in which there are no restrictions for consensual sex is 18. So the idea is that sex between someone who's 12 and 18, it's not illegal, but they might be able to lock you up if you do something super creepy. But that is nuts, man. You imagine if there was like some person that just only went after 12-year-olds?
Now, where is that? That's
Ugh.
in the United States or Mexico?
It's Mexico.
So that's why people would
No?
fly down
Where is
there.
it?
Actually, I typed in Mexico, but this is an article on Wikipedia about age of consent in North America.
What?
And then it says federal law, so I'll find out.
Wait a minute. That what I just read was about North America? How is that real?
I just saw North America too, and that's why I asked him.
There's states where I know
I'm
it's
sorry, not
14.
in North America, United States of America, right? North America is Canada too. That is a not possible thing. How is it? Is that really possible? That 12 could be the age of consent anywhere?
Oh no, yeah.
What are you talking about? That's crazy.
That is
18,
Mexico.
right?
That's the federal law of Mexico. is what it's
Mexico.
saying here.
Yeah, you scared the shit out of me, Jamie.
No, the
What, a
article
kid
was.
fucking here in America?
It's no, yeah, yes. That's what the article is about. North America, age of consent in North America, and there is states here where it's lower than 18. and
What?
whatnot. Yeah, like there's a couple. I believe it's 14.
Dude, is that real?
They might have changed it recently.
Okay,
but-
so 12
Texas
are the ones.
is 17.
The 12 are the ones that are in white, that's in Mexico, right?
Down here, yeah.
Okay, there are spots and all the way up the coast, right?
Yep, that's still Mexico down here.
Yeah, that side, but that whole thing is 12 years old is the age of
Yeah,
consent.
the blue is all 16.
Whew, that's a lot
Yeah.
of states at 16.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, they must-
It's just a lot of fucking U.S. states.
How crazy
It's
is that,
16.
Joe?
That's
Central America is
crazy.
14 to 18 in Central.
Excuse me? What does it say?
Central America, a lot of
Oh,
it is 14.
14 to 18 in Central America. Interesting. That's that age of consent thing is bananas. Go back to that little map again, please. That is weird to look at. I would have thought there would be way less of those. 16. Look how many 16s there are. And what are the darker ones? Can you scroll all the way down so we can see the whole scale? So 17 is that.
Brown color.
And then, wow,
Texas is 17.
green is 18. So it's only like Florida, California. There's less greens than there are blues. More, the age of consent is 16. Is this current? Is that possible this is not current? It seems nuts. Alaska 16 too? I assumed it was all 18.
I
almost
thought
everywhere.
Florida was like 8. You know, Florida could be like 7, 6.5. You never know down fucking that crazy place.
That is a fucking crazy place. That's where white people go to boogie. It's an
Didn't
interesting
they have
place.
like pain? I just found out about it. That there was a time you go down and just buy pills over the fucking counter or something. Go pain doctors, pain medication.
Yeah.
Like I just read this shit recently that law got abolished or something. That's why so many people left Florida. There were people moving to Florida in droves just for those pain doctors in droves. I didn't know about this shit.
Yeah. Well, there's a great documentary that we've talked about many times called the OxyContin Express. And they sort of documented that whole route from Ohio and Kentucky and all the way down through Georgia, all the people that would go into Florida just to get pain pills. All you had to do is just get into Florida and you get a doctor and say you hurt your back, and they would have a pharmacy right next to the doctor's office, and all the pharmacy had is pain pills. So you go there, you tell the doctor you're hurt, the doctor says, great, here's some fucking serious hardcore drugs that can kill you. Don't take more of these or you'll die. They're super powerful opiates, but since I wrote it on this piece of paper, you can go buy it. So you go next door and you're buying the hardest of hardcore. You're buying hillbilly heroin. You're buying OxyContin, and you're going deep. Now, I've never done that shit. I did morphine when I got my knee operated on. They gave me that little pump thing, and you could press it and press it and press it, and you want to get more morphine. I have no idea what OxyContin feels like, but that morphine felt wonderful. It feels.
OxyContin did not feel good.
What does it feel like?
I ate it one time, and that was good enough for me. And
Some
I ate
people
a
must like it, though, right?
Tiny. Everybody likes different shit, you know. I like blow, but I don't like meth.
What
you
did
know?
what did Oxy do for you? Like, why is it not good?
I took a little tiny piece. Like, I'm always a fan of something that might put me to sleep. Like, if you like this could put you to sleep, you know what? I'll give it a fucking shot. I like sleeping.
You would try to go to sleep on OxyContin?
Yeah, I didn't know. I go, what? He goes, you might pass out. So he gave me a 16th. There was nothing there.
Right.
There was nothing there. I popped it, and I just felt like my blood pressure dropped. Like I couldn't even do anything. So I went to sleep, and I just knew never to take that shit again. There's certain shit I've taken that I just knew that I was never that just wasn't gonna work for me.
Damn.
You know, heroin has that effect too for a little while. Like it takes you somewhere, and if you don't put the brakes on and shit, then you're gone on that thing. I don't even know how to describe it, but I don't like that feeling. You know, the cocaine feeling you like in the beginning, then where it goes, you don't like it, and then it gets worse and worse and worse. But by that time, you're addicted to it. You know what I'm saying? Meth, I never understood that shit. Wanted to be up for 4 days. That just seems, and you will be up for 2 fucking days, thinking you're tired. Like, let me go lay down, and all of a sudden you're like, I can't sleep. I'm sweating. All of a sudden I got a dose of sweat. So pills, I've always had the. I like a little fucking sleeping pill or something, but
Do
I
you?
can't because of this sleep apnea.
Yeah, they're too dangerous, right?
I could take the anxiety medication. That'll help me sometimes. I'll pop a few of those
What are
if I
those?
get stuck. They're like azepam, but they're like 1.5, dog. They don't do nothing to nobody. 0.5. They don't do dick
You
to
don't
dick.
find that weed lets you go to sleep?
Weed at night don't do dick. You ever see me at night smoking weed? Not really, because the initial effect was in the daytime.
That's what you like?
I like that morning high.
Why do you like that more?
Oh, because that's the one that gets the whole. That's the one that lets me email, text, tweet, think, dot, all by 9 o'clock. All by 9 o'clock.
Get it out of the way.
Yeah. So if I'm up at 5:45, put the coffee on, open up the computer, feed the cats, I don't Pablo it. See, there's people who Pablo it. That's no bueno.
Escobar it?
Yeah.
What's that?
Pablo it, open your eyes in bed, roll over and take a joint and smoke it. That's no bueno. You gotta let your body wake up. That's no bueno. That's the quickest way. Where's that fucking thing you have? Let me take a hit of that. I love that little blunt. That fucking Gino from Speedweed. These are some of the best fucking.
Jamie picked this one up. This is a
Oh,
different one.
This is that Gino.
Jamie, where'd you
Gino
pick this
fucking
up?
blunts.
Place down the street.
What's it called? Just the. Well, I'll tell you what it's called.
Hollywood blunts or something. I don't know. These
It's,
Hollywood
yeah,
pre-roll. It's nothing.
Hollywood's.
Yeah,
medicated blunt.
Yeah, waking up and pulling the Pablo.
People are funny.
That
They're funny
ruins
with
your
that
day.
medicated. Yeah, it's medicine, man. Okay.
But if you wake up and give your body some chance to, like, I remember smoking cigarettes in the morning. You don't know what damage is to your body until you wake up in the morning, take 6 steps, sit down and pull a cigarette out and light it. There is no worse damage a human being can do to their body. Forget heroin, forget eating a few avocados, forget eating a Burger King Whopper. Get up at 6 in the morning, give yourself 3 minutes and light a cigarette. Your body does not recover from that, and you don't know how bad it is till you stop doing it. That's damage. So I look at it the same day way with reefer. I let my body wake up a little bit, let it air, drink water, let the body's heat. Drink a glass of water with ice, let my body's heat wake up, get the stomach going, drink a little coffee, and then bang out some reefer. Ooh, Lordy. It's a different day.
And you like to work out in the morning too, right?
I'm 55. I can't come to your house at 8 o'clock at night. But I can't. I'm not going to roll with you at 6 in the morning either. Most heart attacks happen before lunchtime.
Do they?
Yeah.
How come?
I don't know. I didn't write the book. Check it out. Most heart attacks happen before fucking 12 o'clock. So you don't want to be, you don't want Joey Diaz in your side control at 6 in the morning either. I'm good at 9 to kickbox, 10 to kickbox, 11, 12 to jiu-jitsu-wise.
Yeah, you got to wake everything up. That's the whole deal. Heart attacks are more common in the morning, says Fox News. 5 to 6 times more likely to occur in the morning hours between 1 and 5 a.m. And studies have shown that morning heart attacks tend to be more severe than those that happen later in the day. Too long or too short of an interval can result in abnormal heart rhythms called arrhythmias.
As a matter of fact, I had to stop giving mama a stabbing in the mornings.
You were worried about heart attacks?
Yeah, because that was my morning. I love morning eating pussy in the morning.
Whoa.
Just wake them up.
Whoa.
Just
What is
wake
all
'em.
this?
You just tap 'em. When you kick mama with that leg in the morning, you know what I'm saying? You ever give your little wife a tap in the morning, she pops her head up? And they already know. They get up, they pee, they dry the monkey good. They come back naked. You eat that fucking monkey, and then you start giving them a stabbing like a soldier. And that stabbing, dog, I would have to get up and start breathing heavy. And then I thought about that fucking gangster that was going to testify that time in court, and he bent over to tie his shoes, and he had a heart attack. And the guy ended up doing a fucking jail, and we got to talk about that too in a second, but we'll cover the heart attack. I take a baby aspirin before I go. I drink something from GNC to get me going a little bit in the mornings. I still take my Onnit protein powder I live by, but I do take a supplement before I go to the gym, and I do drink something while I'm at the gym to calm me down a little bit.
What do you drink?
Something from GNC. I like GNC. I don't know names.
You don't know names?
I don't know names. I just know performance levels. I always pop a Shroom Tech. Again, I don't pop 2 Shroom Techs. I pop 1. And I started with a half a capsule because I was finding my heart was beating too much. You got to
Really?
watch the ticker. Yeah, you got to watch the ticker.
That's interesting.
You know, listen, God gives you a certain amount of ticks to your heart. I did coke. That fucked up the whole clock. That fucked up the speedometer.
You got sand in your dials.
Yeah, I got sand in the dials. I got fucked up the speedometer, so now I got to strengthen it a little bit. And that's what strengthens it. But there's a lot of shit you could do without thinking, like a marathon or something.
Yeah.
I watch my fingers, no numbness. I get a finger up my ass as much as I could from the doctor. I overuse insurance dollars. Like I'm going Friday for a blood test. Why, Joey? Because I'm in the mood to. You got to switch out the blood every couple months. You know what I'm saying? You got to switch it out. Like Keith Richards, he's still alive because he switched it out. Look at women don't die of heart attacks. Why? Because they bleed every month. We're the only assholes that don't take the blood. What's the matter with you today? You're like a fucking mort.
I'm just
You're just
here
sitting
with
there.
you, buddy.
Okay.
Relax.
I thought
What are
you
you
were
saying?
depressed. You don't want to be
No,
here.
I'm enjoying your conversation.
I don't know.
You're just smoking so much weed, you're getting paranoid.
No, I love it. That's more
You've taken 5 hits off that thing. You've just been just sucking it down and getting deeper and deeper into the hole. You're like, what's the matter? Like, nothing's the matter at all.
It's the 4th of July, cocksucker.
Yeah, I
Who
know
gives
it
a
is.
shit?
I know it is.
Great to see you. You look
great to see
beautiful.
you, too.
What's
You
going
too.
on with you?
Normal shit, you know. Just doing a
Weren't
little
at
bit
the
of
store
stand-up.
last night?
No, I'm
come?
coming tonight.
You going down there tonight?
Yeah, I got a spot tonight.
don't know if I'm going down there. I've been taking a few days off after the Netflix thing.
Yeah. Nice.
I wanted to fall in love again with it. I wanted to.
It's good to take time off things.
It's really weird how you live and you learn and you still fall for dumb shit. You know, the only person I should listen to when it comes to comedy is you. And I don't see you enough and I don't talk to you enough about it. I got to get on more planes with you. Because when I watched the John Mulaney special and I fell in love with his joke writing and stuff like
He's
that.
a very funny guy. Really
And
nice guy, too.
Really nice guy.
Really nice guy.
Fucking great fucking special, you know? But every once in a while, I'm sorry I'm saying this word, I always think I get the white moment. And I'm not a white comic. The reason why you like me and the people like me is because you don't know what's going to come out of my mouth. When I become a writer, that's when I'm not a comedian no more. When I go home and start writing stupid fucking jokes and you laugh at them, I'm not Joey Diaz no more. That's not what Joey Diaz is supposed to do. You know what I'm saying?
No.
That's not what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah.
But this shit that's happened now scares the shit out of me. So now I got to go up there. You paid $25 to see me. I got to go up there and leave my soul up there. I take that shit seriously now, but I'm starting to take it a little bit too seriously.
The shit you see now, in what way?
The people coming to the shows. People coming to the shows to see you. And they want to see you do well. So I go up there with this planned material that I work on hard, that I believe in. That's bullshit. Because I'm a lot friendlier when I go up there and I just fucking yell and scream and go off the cuff and go crazy and my eyeballs turn red. But no, I want to be John fucking Mulaney because he makes me fucking laugh and he's what in your mind a true comic is.
Yeah. Everybody's got their own way of doing it.
No, and that's what I realized. I'm going back to being a
Yeah.
fucking lunatic. I'm going back to midnight spots. Next week, I'm going back to midnight spots. I'm going back to Cali. Going back to Cali.
Yo, I
I'm
don't
going
think
back to those
so.
Paul Mooney spots. I know they're late, but they're the only ones that keep you. If you're going to play it, listen, for me to be in uniform, this is the only way I could do it. That 10-15 following you, that ain't fun no more. We got to be back there late like we used to and
Yeah.
go on 4 hours of sleep for 2 or 3 weeks. Then you got to walk me over and buy me a fucking Pink Dot sandwich like in the old days.
Why don't you like the 10-15 spots? That place is...
Because they put me in that position. I'm sick of fucking being in that fucking John Mulaney position. I'm not John Mulaney. I'm
What
a
do you mean
lunatic
they
at
put you
midnight.
in? But who...
Like, you're there to see me because something's going to come out of my mouth that's going to be funny.
Joey,
There's nothing funny coming out of my
Joe,
fucking mouth.
Listen, I love you, but this is crazy talk. What you do is your way of doing it. It's great at 10. It's great at 8. You could do a 3 in the afternoon show. It would be amazing.
They stare at me at the store
They
sometimes.
don't.
They
They
stare at
don't.
me in the
They
original
don't.
room. I'm going back to midnights.
They don't.
I'm taking the Kennison spots again. 3 nights a week because I can handle it. That means I get home at 1. I'll stay up till 1:32.
You gonna do the late spots?
Yeah, you know why, man?
Why?
The reason why I do this early shit is because I'm trying to be normal. I read that book. Your podcast, like I said, have been...
Okay, now I like this. Hold on a second. So you're gonna close out the store and do like an hour-long set?
No. 15. 12 to 12:15.
Oh, okay.
I'm out of
So
there.
you're not gonna do like the Don Barris situation?
No.
That's
I
what I
don't
thought you
no.
were saying.
Listen, Joey does
Okay.
the least for the most. Get the fuck out of there. All right?
I'm just saying.
No.
But you can if you're closing out the show, right? You could go long.
I don't want to close out the show at 1 in the morning. I don't want to be out. I'm scared of going out at night.
So it's not. I thought you were saying you wanted to do the Kinnison spot. That's the Kinnison
midnight
spot, right?
The midnight spot when he would do that midnight spot.
Oh, I thought he was always the last guy up.
I didn't
I
know.
thought it was the. I mean, that's what they always say about Brody when he does the Kinnison spot in the
Oh,
main
I don't
room.
know. I thought it was the midnight spot. Let's call it the Paul Mooney spot.
Okay. Well, just you want to do a late night spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that I
Well,
would do a lot better. I don't have to go to
More
other
Degenerates
places.
will be out for sure.
Yeah.
Degenerates
It's
are
ready
out.
for me to. It's time for me to be. I'm a fucking degenerate.
I should
dog.
say that, fellow degenerates.
Yeah, I'm a
We'll be out
fucking
at
degenerate.
1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. Nobody's saying 1. Did I say 1? I said 12. Stop
Okay,
fucking
12.
saying fucking 1 in the morning.
12 o'clock. You know
say
you're
1.
getting up at 1 though.
12
Let's be
o'clock.
realistic.
No, 12:10.
You
They're
might
they're
get
at
a-
they're professionals at the store
They're
now.
pretty professional.
They're professionals. There's
Yeah.
no more fucking people coming in and bumping you.
Well, that still happens a little bit, but not too much.
It's not
But
too much. It's
they
not
don't.
too
They
much.
don't. No one jumps on and does an hour and a half like the old days.
I miss that 12 o'clock thought of mine. The thought process at 12 for me in the old days was, I swear to God, Joe, they've already heard everything.
Yeah.
If I think they really want to hear these dumb 3 jokes in my pocket, I got another thing coming. And it taught me how to write really good.
What has changed recently? Like one of the things a lot of people have been saying with, especially the Me Too movement, is that people are more cautious about saying controversial jokes now. Do you feel that? Do you feel like energy in the air being different? Do you
If
feel
I
like
tell
people
you
are more
something, you won't-
sensitive?
I know you won't get mad at me. I feel the energy's different, but guess what, G?
What?
It don't apply to me. It don't apply to me. Doesn't apply to me, and it's never going to apply to me. Okay? I understand me shooting your special on your network. You don't want me to use certain words. There's parts, and I get that. This is a business.
Right.
This is a business, and I got mouths to feed. But when I'm at the Comedy Store, when I'm at the Improv, when I'm at the Laugh Factory, when I'm at Flappers, when I'm at the Ha Ha, when I'm at the New York Gotham,
You gotta let it fly.
I'm going to let it fly.
You gotta let it fly.
Okay? And I'm sorry.
No.
This is just so you know.
You
No!
shouldn't be sorry. You're not
This is
supposed
just
to
so
be
you know.
sorry.
You know what I put on yesterday?
What'd you put on
Guess what I
yesterday?
put on the studio yesterday?
What?
And this is it. This
What?
is it because it's time.
What?
We're not taking it no more. I'm not taking it no more. I put on an album, and again, I'm very sorry if I offend somebody. I didn't name it this, he did. So take your fucking problem up with him. Name of the album is Bicentennial Nigga by Richard Pryor. I put it on, I listened to it twice, and I did an edible and cried. I got I've got the Periscope listening to Richard. Okay? I got it.
Yeah.
Okay? And I've listened to Lenny Bruce live from Carnegie Hall in the last couple weeks. I don't know when the last time you listened to that, because we can't, because of our, guys like you and I can't. Definitely not Jamie, and definitely if you're under 30, you can't, because of the, how slow it is.
How slow it is.
Cultural references and how slow it is.
Yeah.
But it's a lesson. I listened to that, and I'm going home. Guess what I'm listening to tonight?
What?
I'm staying in tonight to listen to the one when he meets, the Wino meets Dracula.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
it's either, is it Something I Said or The Nigga's Crazy? Both of those albums are masterpieces. And that's how he wanted us to do it.
Yeah.
That was how we have to do it.
Yeah.
He didn't give a
Yeah.
fuck what the fuck was said.
No.
If a company wants to pay you, HBO or CBS, and Joey, can we talk to you in the corner? We can't have that joke because we got a complaint about that. I'm an adult. I can't sell. Listen, Bill Hicks is dead and I don't feel too good myself. Okay? All right, let's cut the fucking shit, okay? We do this for profit at the end of the fucking day. We're feeding our families. All right, so.
But there's also a way you do it.
And there's
Well,
also
you're not
a way
gonna
I do
compromise
it.
the way you do it for more
Right.
profit.
When I watched the Richard Pryor thing, and I know he went to the Hollywood Bowl and they were doing the thing for gays, and he went up there and went against the gays. I got it. Is it something I would do? I don't know. But it's who we're supposed to be in a way as a comedian. We're supposed to be the social column of society in a way.
In some ways.
So now you want to take that away from me? You want to take the way I can't say, I grew up on the word retarded. I grew up on the word faggot. I grew up on a lot of words that people don't accept today. And I'm very sorry that you don't accept them. But it's too late for me to change my game right now. Yeah, I'll try my hardest. I try my hardest. I'm still going to say tranny from time to time. I know it offends. But when you're a comic, listen, man, the first 7 minutes of any news is about what's going on in the world. And the next 10 minutes is bad. I never talk about politics. Well, to top it off, I'm a felon. So I need to talk about politics. You know what I'm saying?
You don't vote.
There's just
Right.
things. I'm not going to talk about kicking an abortion child. Remember, for a long time, every comic was, I'll kick an aborted fetus. That's not my style. I'm up there to talk how
What
to
are you
fuck.
talking about?
You know,
Kicking aborted
Yeah,
fetus?
yeah. You go to comedy shows, and there's always
they're
that
trying
one
to
comic
be shocking.
that wants to be shocking. No, I'm not here to be shocking. I'm here to tell you how I see it. You want to hear how I see it? This is how I see it. If I offend you, I offend you. Before, in the beginning of the show, I said something very offensive in today's terms. But in my reality, it was real. You want firecrackers? You buy them from a Chinese dude down in China.
Why is that racist?
Because that's racist. In
But isn't it
today's
factual?
society,
How's it
Not
racist if
today.
it's factual?
Chinese people are out of fireworks.
Right.
They moved
but
on
there's
to other
weird,
things.
There's weird ones that we all let fly, like black dudes with big dicks. No one's complaining about that, right? You ever hear that? You assume black dude has a big dick. Does anybody complains? Probably they're looking to now. That might be like maybe I'm the first one to get called out on it. That's racist to think that black dudes have big dicks. Is it? If it's positive? Is like a positive attribute racist? Like if you said Asian people are better at math, people would say that's racist. How is it racist if they're really good at something? Like if they have more talent or skill or more accomplishments. How's that racist? Like isn't that racial if it's good? Right? Like Jews accept it. If you tell Ari that more European Jews won Nobel Science Prizes, he's like, of course, we're smarter. Of course. Is it racist to talk about how many Jews are so fucking smart? Like, why is that? Why are they so goddamn smart? You ever think about how many German and European Jews were like fucking serious geniuses? It's a crazy trend. Like, what happened over there? Callan was trying to explain it to me once about their values and their education and experiences and what led to just. Google the numbers of European Jews that have won Nobel Science Prizes. It's kind of like, it's eye-opening. You know how many guineas from New Jersey? 0. 0 guineas from New Jersey winning science. None of my relatives winning science
I
projects.
tried looking this up a couple weeks ago. It was hard to look it up.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, what's
European Jews that have won the Nobel Science Prize. Try that. I don't know. I don't even know what these numbers are. I'm talking out of my ass. I know that I've definitely heard it discussed that there was a giant number. What are you doing over there, Joey Diaz?
Make sure my wife doesn't text me and let me know what party I need to be at.
Oh, 4th of July, baby. This is our country's birthday. It's a time that we should cherish. I think we should play the national anthem.
Maybe later. We got time.
Okay.
We got to play the national anthem real quick. They had it on this morning by my house. I loved it. I fucking love it.
So how was your experience doing your Netflix special?
Everything was great. Netflix, I take my hats off to them. Everything was great. It was my fuck up. It was my fuck up. I let it get into my head too much. I listened to too many people, and I forgot the number one thing. Just be funny. That's it. Be yourself. Doesn't matter what any people
How
say.
many shows did you film?
2. First one I think was a disaster. The second one I redeemed myself a little bit. We'll put something together and we'll save something. So now I'm working really hard. Like now I'm going back to my old roots, how I want to do my stand-up again.
It's hard when you
No more
even only have
bullshit.
2 shows. Even
No
only
more
2 shows
bullshit.
is tough.
No more bullshit.
Yeah.
No more. Listen, this has nothing to do with me. I'm a stand-up comic. That's what I signed up for. What do I got left? I'm 55. What do I got left to do in stand-up? Another 10 years, maybe? I gotta stop now. You're gonna shut me down now. No, this is where we get started. This is where we get started. We got daughters.
When do you think about? Do you think about ever stopping doing stand up? Because I do occasionally.
I think about it, and then I take a flight back with Dice from New York, and I look at Dice. Before I approach him, I sit there and I look at him from 10 feet away for 10 minutes, and I think to myself, is this what I want to be doing at that age? And I think about what would we be doing? What would we be doing? You really want to be around your wife and your daughters every fucking weekend, for every fucking week? You're already used to leaving one weekend at least a month. You're already used to it. There's going to be a casino. Somebody's going to pay you once a month to leave the house for 2 days.
But would you be happy with your act if you're only going out once a month? Like if you weren't going up and practicing, going out once a month could be awful.
But what I'm saying is, I'm saying you're still hosting the pizza place on Wednesday nights.
What?
And you're still, let's pretend you moved to fucking Columbus, Ohio.
Okay.
Okay.
Moved to Columbus, Ohio.
Columbus, Ohio. And you work the Funny Bone once a year, right? And you do your little pizza open mic somewhere down the corner a couple nights a week. They look at you as the older guy. They all came up looking at comedy, watching you. You know, they listen to you. You know, when I started in comedy, the guy's name was George McKelvey. And George McKelvey was a really special guy, Joe, because he had been on the Tonight Show with whatever, as a comic, as a stand-up. And that's the fucking epitome for one of us, whether he became Richard Pryor or not. He was on, what's his name? Come on, fucking help me here.
I have no idea.
The Tonight Show.
Johnny Carson?
Johnny Carson. He did stand-up, and Johnny put him on the couch. You know, the real. I mean, right. George McKelvey was the real deal. When George was 70, I'll never forget, he called me one night. He's like, hey, what are you doing, kid? I go, I'm sitting there. He goes, drive to Colorado Springs and get on stage. Open up for me. I go, I can't get on that stage because a famous manager that was at that club at the time wouldn't let you get on stage unless you took that comedy class for $35.
Oh, that was a scam. A lot of guys did that.
He goes, fuck her, I'll waive it. So he threw me on stage. And this old guy liked me. That old guy had no career, basically. He did the local places. He owned 2 clubs. And he worked a couple clubs that hired him still. He died on the road or whatever. My point being that he helped me a lot as an old guy. Like, I looked at him, and my first opinion of him was, like, look at this old loser. No, he wasn't an old loser. He had been doing it for 30 years. He committed to this. And no matter what his turnout was or whatever, he was still a comic. He died a comic. I talked to him maybe 2 years until he died, and I lost contact with him.
Well, George Carlin died on the road.
Yeah.
You know, one of the greatest of all time.
I don't want to die on the road. And I know you don't want to die on the road.
No.
But I can't. For years, I thought I wouldn't be doing this at 50. Guess what? I'm 55. And I'm starting to fall.
But you're not just doing it. This is what's important. You're still letting it swing. You're still having fun and doing a lot of crazy shit that gets you in a lot of trouble today. This is what I brought up with, we were talking about the, you know, in air quotes, Me Too era. People are going after people today, for good or for bad. And to still have a wild, controversial act in this politically correct environment.
Hold on one second. What are we going after Me Too people for? For me taking you in the back, grabbing your titties, grabbing your pussy, or for you sucking my dick for a movie role, or for something like that. All those things really don't exist in my life.
Right.
I have a wife and I have a child. They don't exist in my life. If you want to come at me for sucking my dick in 2002, we were both doing blow, go ahead, be my guest. Be my guest, but I want to see footage. I can't be Amzari and take it and just, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's a lot of people out there that are going to get Me Too. Look at this other guy. For years, he was known as a heroin addict. Never got accused of sexual misconduct. And some chick said he molested her when he was 11 years old. And now he's like, you need that. You need that. And the chick's on drugs. She's doing the press conference while she's on drugs. What's his name, brother? The guy that was in Heat, that De Niro put him in a rehab himself. And then he married Heidi Fleiss for a while. Who was with Heidi Fleiss for Tom, yeah. That guy's been a junkie for 2,000 years. All of a sudden...
Why can't I remember his last name?
Sizemore. All of a sudden, some girl comes up when she's 26, twitching. Yeah, he molested me on a movie set when I was 11. That's great and dandy, dog. But you can't ruin somebody's life now.
But what do you think is happening? This is my question. Like, why are people accepting these situations, like the Chris Hardwick situation, or why is everybody instantly thinking that the guy's guilty? No one giving him a chance.
The benefit of the doubt. No court. No justice court. There's no nothing.
And in some cases, like the worst case was Garrison Keillor. Garrison Keillor is the host of the Lake Wobegon Chronicles, like this radio show on PBS, I think it is. Is that what it is? He apparently hugged a woman, and his hand went down her back. This is the depiction. And he apologized to her, and he sent her an email, and she said, don't worry about it. It's no big deal. It was nothing. And then they continued, I believe, to correspond, and were friends again. And then all the stuff started happening with Al Franken, and then he had this complaint brought up by this woman. She reintroduced it and said that a long time ago he put his hand on my back. And they canceled his show. They took his name off of it. And they did it like really quickly. And it's one of those things where you just go, okay, really? Like the guy in one moment in time touches someone's back. I don't know if it was creepy or not. Let's assume it was a terrible error and it was creepy. I don't think it was. I don't know. I'm not saying I know. But that's it? Just touching someone's back, and that is a hysterical reaction. That is hysteria. It's almost the definition of hysteria. You're not talking about an evil person. You're talking about a person who touched someone's back. Like, we got to be real careful with what you destroy a person's whole life with. So on the one side, you have the worst case scenario, which is like a Bill Cosby, who's drugging people and raping people. It's the worst case scenario for these powerful, elite type people that are getting these women into their web and pretending they're going to help them.
Right.
He's another one.
Which they were all in on it, and everybody knew about it. For years, they knew about it.
It was written into his contract. It was sexual harassment clauses were in his contract, right? Wasn't that?
It was known for years.
Let's make sure we're correct on that. But we read
with
that
Harvey,
online
you know what
before.
bothers me about Harvey? Let me tell you what bothers me about Harvey.
What?
We got to indict everybody.
There's a lot of people that have to be indicted, and this is one of the things
That's
that I was
my
getting
feeling.
at.
My feeling right now that this should be a RICO act.
Wow.
This is a RICO act. Agents, managers, Oprah, because everybody knew. Everybody
Okay, but here's
knew.
the question. How much
But
did
no,
they know?
Listen,
Did they
everybody
just
knew
know?
in 2005,
Right.
everybody knew Joe Diaz was a coke fiend.
That's a different thing, though, man.
It's the same, let's pretend.
But-
It's the same thing.
okay, but let's-
Joe Diaz is a coke fiend. It's 2007. Joe Diaz comes to a party at your house. There's 2 cell phones missing.
Okay, let me say this though. Do you think that it's possible that his behavior was shielded from some of the people that he interacted with, like Hillary Clinton or Oprah or Bill Clinton or whoever that was that some high-profile people that he interacted with? Is it possible that they didn't know? Is it possible that they just
No.
thought he was a pussy hound?
No.
Or do you think they all knew?
They knew he was a pussy hound, and they heard little chitter-chatter, but it's okay. It's Joe.
okay.
It's
They
Joe.
would just let him.
It's Joey.
That's
number 1.
That's crazy.
Number 2, Jamie, you ready for this?
Oh Jesus.
Okay, I see Joe, whatever, not now, but 25 years ago. I see Joe, and the first thing I have to go is, Joe, before you leave, don't forget I got to tell you a story. What was that story going to be about? About Benson Henderson's choke? About a joke that somebody said at the store? No, about a place I went to. And some chick took me in the back and sucked my dick under the car, and then she stuck a finger in my ass, and that's what we talked about. So, if that's what we talked about, you're going to look me in the fucking face like a man that you are and the men that you've been around and tell me Harvey Weinstein never turned to Brad or his other buddies and said, I'm going to tell you a story about that dirty fucking animal.
For sure.
Okay, then.
For sure. But that's actually that's been admitted. I think they've had conversations.
Oh
about
my
that.
God! If you don't think the wig, Ben Affleck, and the other guy, and I'm not offending nobody. I'm just talking boys. We're boys, right? You and I are boys.
Yeah.
What you won't say to Jamie, you'll say to me because you watch Blind Date.
No, I've never watched
There's
it.
a movie, Blind
Oh!
Date. There's a movie,
Some
Blind.
firecrackers are going off in the room.
There's a movie named Blind Date with Bruce Willis.
Oh, I remember that movie.
And Kim Basinger, hilarious. Kim Basinger steals the show when she walks in, the Japanese lady. She's like, you're entitled to 50% of your husband's assets in California. And the Chinese woman kept saying, me no speak English. Me no speak English. And I was like, you're entitled 50%? And she opens up the door, 50%, 50%. That movie's a great movie. But there's a scene in the opening of that movie. Both of those actors are around, where the guy comes up to him and he goes, you're not going to believe what happened last night. And Bruce Willis goes, here we go. One of these fucking sex stories again. And he goes, so I'm at Spago's. I have for dinner. I walk out and some lady pulls up in a limo. And I say, I've never been in a limo. And she goes, we'll get in. And we're riding down Sunset, hard times in the summer. And next thing you know, she's sucking my dick. She's got leotards on. I'm eating her ass. And he's telling the story. And Bruce Willis looks at him and he goes, no. Why does this always happen to you? This is some other bullshit. He goes, "Da-da-da-da-da." And he goes in his pocket and he starts whipping out Polaroids. I've always known one of those guys in my life.
Of course.
We've all known one guy in my life.
But there's a difference between that guy and what Harvey Weinstein's been accused of.
I know that. But I also believe that Harvey Weinstein was telling me.
He probably was.
Because, listen, for
What
everybody
was he
who told
telling him? Was he telling him that he was holding people down?
What do they usually tell him?
Was he telling him he was raping people?
She's a piece of ass. No, not at all.
Do you think that he did? Well,
Yeah,
I don't even want to ask
she's a
you.
piece of ass. She's a piece of ass. You got to see her suck a dick.
Right.
She'll do anything. She's an animal. Well, that's what we do as men. We're braggadocio.
So do you
We're
think that there
stupid.
was like a community of that where actors and actresses?
I think he had 4 or 5 guys that knew what he was doing. I want you to remember being 27 and having 4 of your boys that would come back every Monday with a different story to karate school.
Yeah.
I ate her ass. I fucked her on fire. Whatever the fuck it is that you do. He told somebody. Somebody knew about all these stories. Some agents knew. Somebody, because for the 100 of them that said no and whatever, there had to be 25. He was playing the percentages, Joe.
Well, definitely. A lot of people said yes.
They blamed that one girl. That one girl that did Rounders. They accused her.
Yeah, I'd heard that.
That played Matt Damon's girlfriend. She went from being an extra in fucking Donnie Brasco to being a guest star opposite fucking. Yeah, if you watch Donnie Brasco, she's what's his name, Sonny Black's girlfriend. You know how many lines she has in that movie?
0.
0.
Smart move.
And then a year later, she's a fucking guest
Yeah.
opposite. So
Yeah,
there's
it's
a
one
bunch
of
of
those
them
things.
that said
like,
yes.
do you fault the girl for doing that? Like if a girl decides to
Joe
fuck
Rogan-
Harvey Weinstein
Joe Rogan,
on
we
her
come-
own free will,
Joe Rogan, we come here with a dream. And there's 2 ways to enhance that dream. There's either I always knew that I wasn't good looking, I always knew I was fat, and I always knew I was R-rated and hard to listen to. But I always knew that I was funny, so I always worked on being funny. I didn't think somebody was going to let me suck their dick or eat their pussy to be a star. So that was never in my mind. But think about people who, how many people have you met that would sell their soul in this town? How many people have come and gone in front of you? The reason why our friendship is still intact is because you know I'm a hard worker. You know Ari's a hard worker. You respect hard work. How many times have you pulled me aside and said, look at this fucking clown? And you're not trying to be judgmental. You just know that he's pulling the wool over somebody's eyes. We know who's talking the talk and we know who's walking the walk. We see it on stage. We hear about it. You don't need Twitter or Facebook. We hear about it. We get to that club. The club owner will tell you, Joey was here 2 weeks ago. He was falling asleep on stage. You know, you hear shit.
right?
So it's the same thing. You agree?
Yeah, no, I think so. I think what's one of the things that stand-up's good for is that it's an exercise you're doing while you're living your life. And the better your stand-up gets, it's usually a better indication that you're thinking better. Like your life's more in order. You're more tuned in. You know, you're doing stuff that's hitting harder because you've got better points. You know how to edit it better. And usually that you can use that. I think it's like Remember that movie Mo Better Blues?
Yes,
Denzel Washington. I love that
absolutely.
movie.
Me too.
One of the things I loved about that movie, I got inspired to work on my act after that movie. I was like, think about how much musicians practice. He was just always practicing, and these girls, these hot girls would want to fuck. And you're like, no, right now. I got to practice. I was like, damn, the discipline. Crazy discipline that man has to play that trumpet and practice it over and over again. And it made me really think, like, as a comic, we don't work like that. We don't have to rehearse all day. We don't really rehearse at all. But musicians, like a really good musician, I mean, they're always working. They're always trying and training and working on their craft. And we do it on stage in front of people, probably more than a lot of musicians do, unless they're, constantly regularly touring. But we don't have that kind of a work ethic attached to what we do. Like, if you want to play a phenomenal trumpet, those guys, their breath control and the way they can blow those horns, man, they practice all the time. They put in hours and hours working on that. And I was thinking about it, I was like, that's a different kind of craft. It's a different kind of craft, the ability to play a musical instrument. The thing about stand-up that becomes a problem sometimes is that you can kind of pull it off. Like, you could do it really well, or you can kind of pull it off. And to kind of pull it off, you don't need a whole lot of effort. You just need a few good subjects and a few good ways of expressing it. But to get that, where you can kind of pull it off and turn it into a bit that just smashes, a bit that you put it in and you can't wait to get to that punchline because you know it's going to be a nuclear bomb, that's where the real work comes in. And I think for a lot of us, it's the difference between how much energy you put towards anything, whether it's your stand-up comedy or painting or whatever the fuck you do. How much energy you put towards your writing, how much energy you put towards thinking about it. The more you can do, the better it's going to be. And that's a fundamental thing that nobody ever tells you. People tell you should write, but it's not just that you should write. You should also listen to your shit. You should also perform. But the whole key to it all is just applying different kinds of focus towards your act. And if you look at like a movie like Mo Better Blues, like he's doing that. He's playing that fucking trumpet, and you realize like this guy is like lost in the act of practicing this beautiful musical instrument, and this is his craft, and he takes pride in being excellent at his craft. He could just hang around all day and still probably blow an awesome tune at night, but no, he fucking practices. And I remember thinking about that, going, damn, that's probably something that's missing from the lives of most stand-ups, and I should probably try to think about that more with my own life.
I love the writing and I love the performing. I hate the listening.
Yeah, that's a hard part.
The
but it's a
listening is
necessary
very
thing.
rough for me. And I listen, I force myself, even before the special, I forced myself to listen a lot. And it made me too fucking overcritical. It got me too over fucking critical. A week before I taped, I also went to places that I didn't put my name on the gazebo, just to see how my jokes would do in front of regular people. And that fucked with my head a little bit. I made a couple little mistakes in training camp. But that's what training camps are for, to learn,
Yes. No, I agree,
Listen,
man.
I've been doing this for 27 years. I love doing it. I get better every fucking year. My breathing, I get something better going up on stage, or confidence levels. And, dog, it's 27 fucking years. You're going to be doing it 30 this year.
Yep.
Next month is going to be 30 fucking years. Did you ever see yourself doing this for 30 years? I still remember walking into the main room, and Mitzi was in her booth, and Paul was on stage slicing that room apart. And she called me over, and she goes, "That's what happens when you've been doing comedy for 20 years. At that time, I was like, damn, I've been doing comedy for 11. I still got another 9. And now I'm at 27.
Crazy.
And it's like you watch people like John Jock, right, who will fuck you up effortlessly. Without even breathing heavy. John Jocko, there you'll be in, you'll get that fucking hill. You think you got him in the fucking guillotine.
Right.
And next thing you know, you're on your back looking up with your arm in a fucking... and that's what kind of we're doing right now. I feel myself, when I see a guy with a coral belt on, I'm like, that's the level now that we're at. I can control a lot of shit. Joe, one of your secrets was following me, was putting yourself in bad positions.
Yeah.
Which in jiu-jitsu is like getting the biggest guy in the room and going, hey, you busy right now?
Dude, I'd tell
Come here.
people that I was
Get
taking
on-
you on the road with me. They'd be like, "What the fuck is wrong
Get
with
on
you?"
top of me and just choke me. You taking me on the road is like somebody going, "Hey, come here for a second. What do you weigh? 300? I weigh 140. Get on top of me in a mount and put one hand in, and we'll start there.
Yeah.
Let's start right there.
Yeah.
Let's start right fucking there."
But only if you think about it that way. See, this is what was important about it. And there's one of the things that's important about traveling with all really funny people. It only becomes a negative when you think at it as a negative. When someone's funny, you should be laughing and enjoying it, and it makes your time more enjoyable when you go on stage.
Yes, it does.
I needed to learn that. And the way I learned that, one of the ways was going on the road with you. I knew that you were going to crush. And so I knew that everybody else would like to take, we were both relatively young in our comedy careers back then, right? So it was like, we're talking about, I've been doing comedy maybe 9 years or 8 years.
But you were a lot wiser about the game. Like, you introduced me to shit that I had never even, I read a few books, watched a few tapes, but you had the practical knowledge that I needed. Like, you were the Votech school.
Well, what I did is I thought about it the same way I thought about martial arts. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to go on the road with you all the time. I was like, you don't get better at sparring people that suck. You get better when you spar with wizards. You got to be real careful when you're sparring with wizards. And so I was like, what I would need to do is have someone who goes on stage in front of me and just crushes. I had some tough sets going on after you. I remember one time in Rascals in West Orange, right? It was in West Orange or East Orange? West Orange, New Jersey. Fucking great club, but you went up and you got into it with some people in the audience about something, and you were just on fire. You crushed, and I had a real hard time going on after you. And I remember thinking, oh, okay, this is a very important lesson. Like, this is important. Like, there's something that I'm not doing right that he is doing right. Like, what am I, how come I'm not, oh, I'm nervous. I'm nervous going on after him. So I'm not having fun up there. So he's having fun, and I'm being tense, going, oh, Jesus, this better not suck. So I'm putting in my head, this better not suck. It's the total wrong way to approach. Like, if you approach a fight like that, man, you're going to get smashed, most likely. You want to approach a fight thinking about the things you're going to do, not the things that you want to, like, worry about what's going to happen if you get hit. You don't think like that. You just think about doing your thing and then adjusting along the way. And I had the wrong mindset. And I needed to see someone kill a bunch of times in front of me and then go after them to realize, okay, something's wrong here. The wrong thing is that I'm going on stage tense because someone was funny. That's ridiculous. Like, I should be the opposite. I should be happy that someone was funny because I love comedy. And this is what I like to do. I mean, I like to watch it if I'm not doing it. So why am I so tense? It's just a bad way of approaching a problem. And I think this is one of the things that fucks people up in life. You approach a problem the same way every time, and you never stop and just completely look at the whole thing from the top down. Just look at the whole thing. Go, what am I trying to do here? I'm trying to get tighter and funnier and better. What do I got to do? I got to do a lot of sets. I got to write, and I got to work with murderers. That was the key. It's like working with guys like you and all of us working together. And also people knew if they came to see us, like, hey, this isn't just going to be Joe goes up and he's the hero of the show. No, you're going to get Ari, who's going to go on and murder. You're going to go on and murder. And then I'm going to go up. I mean, it's a fucking rock'em sock'em robots show we had. We went on the road, dude. We did clubs across the country. We did, I mean, who knows how many fucking cities you and I and Ari toured on. Fucking crazy numbers. Just over and over again, bonding together, hundreds of shows together, figuring out how to fucking get everything perfect, figuring out the right amount of weed to smoke before you go on stage, the right amount of getting Joey Diaz riled up. You would come in yelling about something, or here, oh, I want you to see something. I'd go into the bathroom and there'd be a shit that looks like a crocodile trying to crawl out of the toilet bowl. All that stuff, that's some rock and roll comedy, man. You know, it helped both of us. It helped both of us a lot. And it also, like, set a tone that I think for a lot of us. Like, you should be with funny people. Everybody should try hard. You should not, like, think that anybody doing good is bad for you. It's great. It's great for you. It's great for everybody. That everybody's, like, doing good together is better for everybody.
When I go on the road now, I go on the road under those Joe Rogan principles. Like, that's my whole road thing. The only thing I added to the only Jeet Kune Do I added to it is my travel. I'm in and out fast. I don't fuck around. I don't rent a car. I don't want to see nobody. I'm in and out.
Yeah.
Let's go right over there. You know, there's no radio necessary. I play it just like you now. We so no.
Yeah, they'll try.
Yeah, no.
Because they have relationships with local radio
Yeah,
stations.
yeah,
They're like,
no.
you know, KCWI wants to get you in there
But
in the
if
morning.
they're cool, I go in because you want to talk to the people
Yeah.
on the way up. The
Yeah,
same people
for
on
sure.
the way down. There's a lot of people that were there for me when I wasn't, so I tried
Yeah.
to do their station.
The problem is the waking up in the morning murders
Yeah,
you.
well, when you travel,
it just
yeah,
kills
it just kills you.
It just kills
You know, like
and
I-
you got to get in there a day earlier. Because if you want to do Friday morning, you got to get in there Thursday now. You can't just show up Friday, 3
We
o'clock in
can't,
the afternoon.
no, I can't do it no more. I fly out Thursday at fucking 6 a.m. That's the best you got out of me.
Right.
Because I got the family and I got
Yep.
the people. We got a lot of shit. It's not like it used to be, man. So
But the thing that I love about like this time is that even though people are super sensitive, like we were talking about, people are like real sensitive about like getting in trouble for stuff. There's still Rock'em Sock'em Robots comedy going on. It's still wild out there. Like dudes are still doing crazy fucking jokes. It's fun. People are taking real chances. They're doing real stand up. You know, and there's a lot of them. There's Bill Burr. There's you. I mean, you can go down the list. Ari's doing some real stand up. You know, there's a bunch of real killers now. Santino, he's doing some dangerous stand up. You know,
the shit
there's a
I'm
lot.
writing now, I'm writing from my. That's it. Like the point of that fucking story I told you, of being on top of that hill at 17 and being homeless, is because I had a lot of chances to ice myself, Joe. I had a lot of chances to ice myself. Think of getting out of fucking prison, and thinking of getting out on bail. When I got out on bail, I had a lot of fucking doubts, my friend. Think of getting out on bail and knowing you're gonna look at 48 fucking years, and you're a fucking loser as it is. Think of all those opportunities. I used to break into a friend's house to sleep in his house at night. I slept in a rocket ship for a month outside at a park. You ever go to a park and see those rocket ships and your kids play on them? I still remember going up to the 3rd floor of the rocket ship, finishing off my coke and jerking off on the 3rd floor at 5 in the morning outside in a fucking park with leaves around me and shit. There was a lot of times I had that I wanted
That
to do.
visual is amazing.
You have no fucking idea. I would go up to the 3rd floor with a bottle of fucking Smirnoff Silver vodka, a bag, a hooded sweatshirt, gloves with a missing finger, so I could fucking touch the rock and put them in my nose and shit. You know, now that's all funny. That's all funny on the way up the stairs and shit. But when you come down and you're in that rocket ship, and it's 5 in the morning and it's 20 fucking 2 below zero, and you're thinking to yourself, fucking God took away my mother. God did this. This is all God's fault, because this is the same God that I was raised to believe that was going to help me is doing all this. A lot of times I wanted to fucking do a swan dive, but I didn't. You know, it's so fucking weird. I was in those positions for a long time, Joe.
Yeah.
Now I gotta look at you and go, Jesus Christ, look at Ike Turner's, Tina Turner's son killed himself yesterday. It wasn't Ike's son, though. I thought it was Ike's son with it. You know, this trend of fucking people icing themselves. That scares me. That concerns me. Is it something we're eating? Is it something that we're getting weak on? You know, there was no drugs in Bourdain's system, so we can't blame fucking prescription drugs.
You know,
on
he
this
was
one.
on one medication, some sort of medication, and it was something that was prescribed for him. Someone told me that it was malaria medication. I don't know.
Probably.
I don't know if they've released that, but I'm sure he had to take some of that stuff
Yeah.
sometimes. But you know, you don't know what it was that did him in. I mean, according to some people, he really wasn't doing well. You know, I don't know. I mean, it's almost unnecessary for me to get the full story. I missed the guy. He's gone. That's it. You know, I mean, I don't need to. I think whenever someone does something like that, whatever it is, if there's one thing that people could point to and say, hey, there's a chemical that's responsible for this, or there's a gene problem that's responsible for this, or there's like, how could someone who's loved so much want to step out? I mean, that must be a terrible moment of pain
Talk about a
to
month
want to
ago.
do it.
I had them. You ever been on the computer listening to music on YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
and you're writing,
Right.
and it just keeps playing songs, and you don't have no control of it. I think I started with Leonard Skinner, Simple Man. And I
Right.
kept going on the Leonard Skinner trip, and I went, and I came back, and at one point, Blow Up the Outside World.
Oh,
And I'm sitting there, and he says that line about going out or something, Joe Rogan, my lip started shaking. I'm like, I don't even know this guy, and I miss him. I don't know this guy. You want me to look you people and tell you I know? I met Chris. I don't know. I saw him one time at the Comedy Store, 6 feet away from me, Chris Cornell. That's it. And I started crying. Like, how could somebody like this go in a room and just ice themselves? Is this what I'm gonna do because I'm in this fucking entertainment field? Because what happens? And then I think about all these times. One time, I broke into my friend's house, and I broke in the window, and it was freezing, so I couldn't even sleep in that room. I had to sleep in the hallway. And there was a mattress on the wall that had like piss stains from all the kids, and I pulled it down, I slept on it, and when I woke up, he had a dog, and when it was too cold, he just let the dog shit downstairs. And there was like 20 pieces of little rolled up shit that had been, you know, like when the juice goes out of them, they just roll up. What's those things that you use as a
organ? What are those? Accordions?
It was like a piece of shit shrinks like an accordion when the moisture goes out of it. It really does. So if you take a shit that's this big,
right,
and you put it in a box, come back a week later, it's like this big. How do I know that? Because I did it to a guy in prison. I took a shit in a welfare box one time. You know the one
Jesus.
You know the boxes of cheese where the cheese comes in, American cheese?
Yes.
This dude had long hair and would always try to play me like he was with the biker dudes.
Oh, so you took a shit in a box for him?
But he lived in he worked in the kitchen. He forgot I ran the kitchen. And it was all me and black dudes. So one day I got one of the welfare cheese boxes, and I took like a 22, 24-inch. It looked like a lizard. It was just long, like, you know, thin at the end, like one of those things that
Tapered?
move,
Like
like
a
a snail.
snake?
That's what it looked
Oh,
like, a
snail.
long brown snail. And I fit it perfectly into this cheese box, and I took a flag, an American flag, like from the cheese, and I put it on top, and I put it in this drawer. And every night, and he had the first bunk on the way out, so everybody had to walk back, and all the black guys would open the door and go, "God damn, it smells like shit in this motherfucker." And he kept saying, "I know it does. I don't know why it smells like shit in here." And after like a month, one day he went in his drawer. Everybody kept saying, "Man, it smells like shit in here." He went in his drawer, opened it up, and he found this box. He opened it up, and I never forget him knocking on my bunk going, "I'm gonna find out who did this to me." And I go, "What they do to you?" And he goes, "Look at this." And I go, "What is it?" And I knew it was shit. But it had shrunken down from the 24 inches to like 6 little inches.
Really?
It just shrunk down. When all the moisture goes out, it just shrunk down like a fucking... I don't even know why I'm telling you that story.
It's a hilarious story.
It's fucking crazy.
It's a hilarious story. These are fun times, Joey Diaz. I think we're the last of the regular humans. I think we got our children's generation, maybe one more after that, and I really do believe it's over. I think we're going to integrate with fucking computers. I think we're real close to it now. Can't even go a whole podcast without looking on our phone. Oh, what time is it? You know? It's weird. We're going to integrate with computers. We're going to all be living in some weird world. We got this fucking virtual reality thing here now, the HTC Vibe. You should try this thing out.
What does it do to you?
It'll freak you the fuck out. You think you're in another place. There's zombie games and games where you're on top of a castle, defending the castle, shooting arrows down at monsters that are coming at you. We're entering into a weird world right now, Joey Diaz. Computers
Well, that's
and
not
us.
that. We got too much information, Joe Rogan.
That too.
We have too
but
much
It's a
information.
part of these things.
Too much information. Well, listen, on this thing, I do not have social media.
Good for you.
You do know that. I only have Twitter on here.
Oh, that's social media.
I don't have Facebook. I don't have nothing else.
But that is social media.
And I got my Hotmail.
Oh,
Which
nice.
nobody even, when I tell people Hotmail, they go, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
So you limit your interaction. That's
Yeah.
good. That's smart.
Limit my interaction. On the road, the iPad, no social media.
I'm convinced we're going to...
Netflix and a writing app on my iPod.
That's it?
That's
What do you
it.
use for a writing app?
Whatever app came with it, writing, whatever, and it has sections. So I have jokes, books, I have chapters, this, that, thoughts, things
Right.
I'm working on.
Is it notes? Is that what you write on?
I don't know what it's called.
It's like it looks like yellow paper.
No.
No?
Notes I have on the phone.
Right.
And I write on here from time to time, but nothing too fucking
But you write
crazy.
on something that's on an
Yeah,
iPad.
Yeah. So what I do is I'll write on a notebook in the mornings, and then once I take the baby to whatever, I'll go to the coffee shop and transfer it if I really like it. to the iPad, and I'll work on it from there. And then I look at the whole thing as a whole now instead of in a notebook, and I don't know my spelling, and I can't remember what that word was.
The social media part is the big part of all this that I'm talking about, is that we're just getting closer and closer to each other in some weird ways. This is going to be nothing compared to the next wave. Whatever the next wave is, but they really do figure out a way to integrate either virtual reality or what they're calling augmented reality. Like you'll wear a pair of sunglasses and you can have Google Maps sitting up on it. You can Google things, you can see images, give you navigation. It's going to get real weird, Joey.
See, Joe Rogan, I'm still a fan of life.
Me too.
And it bothers people. And it bothers me when somebody's not a fan of life, so I don't want them around me anymore.
Who's not a fan of life?
A lot of people. We've forgotten.
Really?
We've forgotten, yeah. Too many cameras,
Yeah.
too many pictures, too many videos. Listen, I was raised in a society. You don't see too many. Really tough to me to find pictures of me as a young kid. Really tough.
Yeah, there's not a lot of pictures taken back
I came from
then.
a society where, and I came from a society where put the camera away.
Right. Good.
What's that for? There's a part, put the camera away.
Yeah.
Why? But put the camera away.
Well, we
That's
need
why.
more of that backstage, right? We
Put
need
the
more of
camera
that in
away,
life.
my way. We live, I'm a stern believer. I don't like text messages. Not because I'm a prick or a douchebag. I want to hear Joe Rogan's voice.
No, we've talked
There's some
about that.
people I don't want to hear
like
your
it.
fucking voice. I want to hear your voice because I know what you're thinking if I hear your voice. You can't. I care about you,
I care about you too.
so I want to hear your voice.
I always tell you people that I love that thing that you do. Like you don't want to have it. You're like my one friend. The only time I ever text you is if you text me first.
Yeah.
I'll text you back, but I call you. We talk on the phone.
You have to check in. You have to have that. You have to be as human. There's days I don't have nothing on my books. And I don't want to do comedy, but guess what I'll do? I'll push myself. I'll be sore, and I'll push myself to go roll, because that's human contact. And it's the most positive human contact you'll ever have.
Right.
Think about it.
Yeah.
Me and you roll on the street, we're fighting about something. But me and you, not listen, I grab your gi and I pull you into my car.
It's fun.
And fucking, that's his human kind. So I know I'm not going to do this, and I'm not going to do that tonight. I'm going to write a little bit, maybe spend some time with the girls. Maybe I'm going to take the girls for dinner. But I also know that I'm going to make myself have that human contact of jiu-jitsu. Oh, you're gay, Joey. You're just a closet fag because you're rolling with men. That's great. But I had human contact. I had an emotion.
Yeah.
I shook hands with a guy.
Yeah.
A guy sweat on me, and I sweat on a man.
Yeah.
Which builds a certain type of emotion between two men. And they don't have to be homosexual. That's a different type of fucking man. It really is.
It is.
When you stop what you're doing and go, Joey, stop. Get the underhook. And while you're teaching me something, I'm sweating on my fat fucking potato chip sweat is landing on Joe Rogan's neck. But you're going, Joey, grab my neck. Squeeze. Yeah, there you go. Now do that to me next time. You know what that does to your psyche as a man? That a man that's beating you is teaching you how to get out. So, Joe, I got you in this guillotine, but stick your hand there. Go, and you're sweating. And you're like, I can't. I'm tired. No. Just put your hand in there one time. Just squeeze real tight. Ooh, there you go. Joey. You're fucking killing me. Jesus, Joe. That's a complete different part of a man.
I think so too.
I think that's your boy.
I think it's good for you.
The human contact.
It also alleviates the tension of, like, men have tension that they might get into a physical altercation. You don't think that way if you do jiu-jitsu.
Gym is great.
You relax.
Walking, people are scared of vitamin D. This society has scared people of the sunlight. You gotta get out in the sun a little bit. That cures depression. This depression people talk about. Again, you know how many times I had to be depressed? You know how many times I've had opportunities to call you up and go, I'm depressed. I get depressed for 10 fucking minutes.
Right.
Then I smoke this Tutsurutz that expired fucking Chiba Chew, and I think of something that you said, and I laugh my fucking ass off. You know, on the way up here, I was high and fucked, and there used to be this guy that used to fuck with me at a body shop as a detailer. Used to fuck with me every day. Couldn't beat him up. He's a lot bigger than I would, so I had to use my mind. So I saw a dead mouse one day, and I took it and I put it in his jacket pocket. And he was driving to work one morning, and he went in his pocket for a cigarette, and he found the mouse, and he crashed his car.
Joey, we're at almost like 4 hours.
All right, let's get
Where
the
we
fuck
at?
out of here.
What is?
No,
3.5
let's get the
hours.
fuck out of here. I love you.
I
Thank
love
you very
too,
much
man.
for having
Thank
me.
you.
Vegas
Always
is
fun.
sold out. Utah's sold out. I'm in Kansas City with you. I'm at the Improv while you're in doing a
beautiful,
theater. So
beautiful.
we'll do dinner.
Let's get dinner like gentlemen.
And then I'm in Nashville and Huntsville, Alabama at the end of the
Beautiful.
month. But besides that, I'm home. It was a pleasure
Wow.
seeing you. You look great.
I love you, brother.
I'm going to take your offer up and we'll train and we'll have Jamie take
Yeah,
some
man,
pictures.
we'll do that. We'll come
and
in.
put
We'll
'em
do a
up.
cycle of the different cardiovascular machines, and then we'll do a circuit of the cardiovascular machines. We'll do a circuit of like some kettlebell exercises. We'll do. Can you do chin-ups? Do you do chin-ups at all? How's your shoulder?
Terrible.
Terrible. Okay. Have you ever done clubs? You've done clubs?
Yes, I
you
have
can do
clubs.
clubs.
From
Okay.
Aubrey sent me clubs. I do
Beautiful,
Alberto
beautiful.
Crane club workout. Friday, I'm going to see my man Joe Schilling and shit.
Beautiful.
Get a little tune-up from Uncle Joe.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
And,
Well, we
that's
got a
it.
bunch of shit out here. We got medicine balls and the heavy
Yeah, I
bag.
see it. I saw you.
We'll
guys.
have a nice workout.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you very
anytime you
much
want to
for
come
having
down here, man, we can do that.
What time do
Anytime.
you usually get here? I know you drop the
Never.
girls off and then you shoot right over,
A
right?
lot of times I come here early and work out, but
Okay.
sometimes I can't do it until the afternoon. But we'll work something out. We'll do some shit.
And thank you for the experience of Disneyland. Jesus fucking Christ, bro.
It's fun, right?
But just the way you told me to do it, like I looked at it, my wife's like, "What, are you crazy?" I go, "Listen, the man says there's only one way to do it." I invited our brother Eddie. We had a great time with the kids.
Yeah, I heard
you
it was
know.
awesome. I heard it was awesome.
Fucking thank you, brother.
Thank God for a
love
place
you.
like Disneyland when you have kids. When you didn't have kids, you're like, who gives a fuck about Disneyland? But